What's good, YouTube? This is AOS85 here, and it is June 14th, and that means they have descended from the Sanctuary. The Lost Sanctuary Structure Deck, Yu-Gi-Oh! Structure Deck number 20, is finally legal. It's out in stores today. Go cop yourself at least 3 copies. It is going to be big. It is cheap. It's about $10 for most Walmarts, and it's going to change the meta. I guarantee it. So today I thought what I would do now, before I show you guys, make my video of my English cards and pack opening, I wanted to quickly talk about tech against fairies. Cards which, of course there are many cards which we know about already. There's Chain Disappearance, which will hit Angel, which will hit your tuner. There's Effect Failure, who will stop Master Hyperion for at least a turn. Divine Wrath, some cards in the deck itself. Divine Punishment, Solemn Warning. Yes, there are tech we know which are going to stop the fairies. Or what I thought I'll do today is talk about tech from way back in the day. Cards which you may see or may not see, or may know or may not know, which people might bring back just to combat the fairies. As you know, all the Ancient Fairies are light attribute fairy monsters. So any tech that works against light monsters or against fairy monsters will work. So what I've done is that I couldn't find the actual cards. I had them somewhere, I apologize. But what I've done is I put up my laptop and basically opened up Windows from YugiOhWikia.com to show you guys the cards which I've been thinking about in terms of fairy defense outside of the more common ones. They may see play, they may not see play. I'm not saying that these are going to be cards that people are going to use against the fairy deck. I'm saying these are cards which people could possibly use against the fairy deck. So you should know them, know their effects, and at least know how to get over them in your build accordingly. First up, Field Spell, Yami. Old, way back from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Yugi and Seto Kaiba days. Increase the attack and defense of all field and spellcaster type monsters. Increase the attack and defense of all fiend and spellcaster type monsters by 200 points. And decrease the attack and defense of all fairy monsters by 200. Anti-fairy hate. It's a field spell card, so it may not seem play, but you never know. It's a decent 200 attack and defense boost for fiends and spellcasters, so you might see these in fiend and spellcaster beatdown decks, but probably not likely. A card that might see play, especially in Monarch decks, this is Brain Golem. It's a level 6, 2500 attack, 1800 defense fiend monster, so very easily splashable in Monarch decks. Its effect reads: effects of face-up light monsters are negated. If this card destroys a light monster by battle, it can attack it once again in a row. So it's very dangerous. If you, for some reason, have a swarm of fairies, it can basically go through each and all of them, destroying them one after one. And it negates the effects of all fairy monsters. All face-up fairy monsters. So Marshmelon is no longer a defense for you. Galanduo, what other cards can be destroyed by battle? Arcanum Force, Zero, I think is the Fool. Those cards can no longer defend you against an onslaught from this card. I believe Monarch decks will use this card and it will see play, so watch out for it. It has 2500 attack, so it's very hard to get over. If you attack it, it doesn't get its effect. So, but if your opponent summons it after you have ended your turn on their turn, it can be a bit of a problem. Chaos Trap Hole. Pay 2000 life points. Negate some of the light or dark monster and remove it from play. This card was when it first came out, it was seen as kind of like anticlimactic. But now that Solemn Warning's out, people understand how good a summon negation is. It hurts not just fairy monsters, but any dark deck, and any light deck whatsoever. You negate the monster summon, whether it's a flip summon, normal summon, or special summon, and remove it from play. Now, the remove from play aspect for fairies can not necessarily that big of a deal, but it can be a bit of an annoyance. Now, the Quake and Mirror cards, all of them, as we know, are anti-light and dark monster hate. This card, if is an equip spell card, they can only equip to a Quaker Mirror monster. When it battles a light or dark monster, destroy that monster without applying damage calculation. So it turns all your Quake and Mirror monsters into Ally of Justice catasters. Speaking of Ally of Justice monsters, quick note, all Ally of Justice monsters are a problem for fairies, for the Asian fairies, because they're all anti-light hate, so watch out for that. Instruction Cyclone. And like his brothers, and like his other brothers, which I'll talk about later, it's a really terrible 2 tribute summon, but when it's destroyed by battle, sent to the graveyard, you destroy all face-up and non-win monsters. So it's basically nukes the field of anything that's not wins. Disciple of the Forbidden Spell. Now this is an interesting card. It's a warrior light monster, 1700 attack, 800 defense. When this card is normal summoned, declare a different monster card attributes equal to the number of Disciple of the Forbidden spells in your graveyard. If this card attacks a monster that has a declared attribute, destroy that monster with this card's effect without applying damage calculation. So the more copies of this card you have in the grave, the more powerful it becomes. You can select multiple attributes, light, dark, at the same time, earth, water, fire. Choose multiple attributes and turn this card basically to Ally of Justice Cataster. Now going backwards, Witch's Apprentice. When this card is, this is a really old school card, but let's see if you guys can remember it. When this card, as long as this card remains face up on the field, increase the attack of all dark monsters by 500 and decrease the attack of all light monsters by 400. So for dark beatdown decks, this is a pretty nifty card. It can basically hurt you in terms of your attack power for the fairies, and they already have a relatively low attack power. I mean, Jupiter is an 1800 beast stick, but that's about it. If you don't run Jupiter, you don't even have that, so watch out. This card could be annoying. Umbrasoul, the dark brother to Destruction Cyclone. Umbrasoul is the same effect, level 7 2 tribute monster. When it's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you destroy all face down and non-dark monsters. So again, same effect, same dangerousness. And Raging Earth is in the same vein. It's an Earth attribute. 2 tribute, terrible 2 tribute monster. When it's destroyed by battle, you destroy all face down and non-Earth monsters. Penumbra Soldier Witch. This is a warrior tribute version of Kinetic Soldier. Just like Monarchs can splash Brain Golem, they can splash this card. It's level 6, so it's 1 attribute monster. It's decent tech for Monarchs in terms of fairy hate or light monster hate. So, but they'll probably go over Brain Golem instead. Though 3000 attack is pretty nice. So I mean, I guess it depends on who you are, but this is a potential card that I can see play. Penumbra Soldier Lady. Next we have Lina the Light Charmer. I mean, her effect is decent. Take control of 1 light monster your opponent controls while this card is face up on the field. I mean, if it's destroyed in battle, it doesn't get the effect, but it can be a problem. Next, the Quaker Mirror cards. Doom and Drago. Drago is a Quaker Mirror dragon that prevents light and dark monsters from being special summoned. Quaker Mirror Doom is the Quaker Mirror Fiend monster that negates the effects of all light and dark monsters that activate during the main phase, which for this deck is almost all your light and dark all your light monsters, all your fairies for that matter, so it can be a problem. Of course, Light Imprisoning Mirror. This is going to be a problem. Watch out for this, I'm telling you. When the effect of a light monster activates on the field or in the graveyard, negate it. It's a continuous spell trap, so it's going to be there all duel. Genex Ally Triumph. When it's synchro summon using a dark monster and then destroys a face-up light monster. Oh, you can select 1 face-up light monster and destroy it and draw 1 card. Dangerous. Leeching the Light. Select 1 face-up light monster your opponent controls. All face-up attack position monsters you control gain attack equal to the attack of that selected monster. If you have Christia or Master Hyperion, it's dangerous. Well, YouTube, thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon. Peace.